Hi, Namaste. Good. Morning. Hi guys. So we finally have a video, and I would like to begin by apologizing to everybody who's been asking me to finally come out, make a video again. I think it's only fair that I begin with a reason as to why that happened. I haven't been able to make any video because I was lazy and I was in a slump. Or maybe that's my natural state of being. I'm always in a slump. Or not. I don't know. I have been lazy and yeah, sorry. So, without much ado, let's jump on to the first book review that we'll be doing. Right? So Ministry of Utmost Happiness was written by Arundhati Roy, and it's her second book. Now the interesting thing is, after The God of Small Things, this book took 20 years to come out, and therefore a lot of people had a lot of expectations out of this book. And here I am to tell you what I feel about it. Right? First off, the book is actually divided into two parts, right? The first part revolves around our first protagonist, Anjum, the narrator for the first part, and it's about her life and her trials and whatever tribulations, and it's directly comparable to the state and evolution of India as a country. So if you try to look deep enough, if you're one of those people who look for meanings hidden inside lines, or if you just comprehend what the author has written, you'll be easily able to see how the first part, the part that is about Anjum, clearly gives us hints about the status of India, how it progresses, just like her life progresses and stuff like that, right? Then part 2 of the book, right, revolves around this character called S. Tilotoma, who's majorly referred to as Tilo, pyar se, right? And this whole book, the part 1 and the part 2, are actually brought together, or both the protagonists in the parts are actually brought together by their common love of an abandoned child, whom they find at Jantar Mantar. For those who don't know, Jantar Mantar is a very popular protest spot in New Delhi. So that is how these two parts connect, right? Because after a point you'll see how Anjum and Tilo actually become familiar with each other, and almost towards the end become something like a family. Important interesting bits to know that the book won't tell you. The character of Tilo is actually based on Roy herself, right? A lot of inspiration from Roy herself, on where she was born, about the family, right? The education, birth, the activism bit, everything, all of that inspired from Roy's own life. And the interesting part is, we don't know where Roy ends and where Tilo begins. इसके अलावा another thing that I really enjoyed was that I found this book to be very political. You can see a slight leftist leaning in the book, and I love it because of the humor with which she presents it, right? She'll paint a picture of the political statements of the politicians, of the entire political condition, and it'll be so brutally honest. It's so honest that it just becomes humorous. Two things that I find very relevant. Number 1, the title of the book. Number 2, the description at the back of the book. The title of the book said Ministry of Utmost Happiness, and before reading the book I was secretly hoping there would be some secret department, ideas of dystopia in my head, something on the lines of 1984, and a deceptive Ministry of Happiness which is not catering to happiness, but turns out she's just referring to life. What I found really deep, if you pay attention to the cover of the book and the title of the book, you'll notice there's a tombstone, and on the tombstone is written the Ministry of Utmost Happiness. Now, how is that interesting? The cover and the title have a lot to do with the first protagonist, who goes through a lot in the book, and you'll come to know that at a very initial stage only within the book, she comes to live in a graveyard, and she actually makes a home there. and then that home keeps expanding and new characters come and start living there, and basically it's a heaven for everybody who's been rejected by the society at large. But there she is in a house that is welcome, made on the ruins of people who are not there anymore. That's on the ruins of the past. But you see people coming there, living their present and making it alive. And when you read the entire story, that is when you realize how that place, that graveyard, turned out to be the actual ministry where happiness is served. So that is number one, the cover and the title. Number two, the back description. Right at the end, you realize that the way that author presented this story was in fact by becoming every single thing one by one. And yet, you see that despite being an independent collection of stories of different people at different times, in the end, it seems to have a connection and still makes a whole story, right? Now, what's good about this book, in my opinion, is number one, I think the narrative is very compelling. You feel parts, and there is literary beauty in a lot of lines, paras, pages. You read some line and you just have to keep the book down and take it in for a moment. You're like, damn, what did I read? What does this imply? Is this as simple as this seems, or is this deeper, or am I just thinking it's way deeper than it actually is? That is what I mean by a compelling narrative. Number two, I think it's the entire simplicity of the whole setup is very beautiful, and it's amazing how even while dealing with super complex issues and situations and circumstances, the ease does not go away. It's still very simple, still goes on at the same level of simplicity. Yeah, I said that. It's simple because there's simplicity. Anyways, and finally, the last special mention, the third special mention, goes to the fact that it's amazing to realize that the author has actually put all her experiences in words in the form of a fiction. It's remarkable how we don't know where her experiences of reality are ending and where the fiction of the book is beginning. Now, coming to the things that I did not like, so I read somewhere that Roy does not like to edit her books much, and she'll usually stick with her first draft throughout except for minor changes. Now, the problem here is this book was written over a long span of time, and that lack of continuity sometimes seems very apparent, right? You can see that there is inconsistency in some parts, or maybe one chapter ends very jerkily, or one character's story just ends right there without any explanation, without any closure. Random things might happen thoda randomly. Another thing, second thing, is there does not seem to be a consistent plot. I mean, it is a story, it's a big beautiful story, but it's one of those stories where you're just telling somebody something, but the conversation does not really has been made with an intention to go somewhere. It's just there, it's just an anecdote. Now, a lot of people had problems about the fact that they could not really understand the book, and honestly, I was not one of them. Kidding, I was. For a very long time, I did not think I would review this book because I felt that I probably did not understand it to the full extent, or probably it was way too deep and I maybe was not in that zone to understand what she meant. But then I went online and I saw what other people had to say about the book, and this is basically something very common that a lot of people say, that there does not seem to be a clear cut thing that you can take out of this book, a clear cut message, right? So that is a problem. So if you're somebody who likes their books logical, on point, with a proper storyline, probably not the book for you. Well, my conclusion is that this book gave me one message, and that message was that this world might not really be like the one that you expected, or rather that the one that you even wanted, and things might not unfold according to what you desire them to be, or what you plan them to be, or what you want them to be, or even what you need them to be. But at the end of the day, it's up to you, because it's your life and it's totally up to you where you find your own ministry of happiness and where you make your own ministry of happiness, because nothing else will give you joy than what is your ministry of happiness. So that's it, guys. I am your very own Cupcake Singh. I really hope you liked this video. Let me know what you feel about it, and like or dislike, comment, share, and I hope you have subscribed, but I promise I'll be more regular a little bit. Good night.